So the journey that God has brought my family and I on over the years has been one of confusion and difficulty, and yet really sweet and intimate. And through the difficulty, He has drawn us closer. Throughout those times, I was always calling to mind the story in 1 Kings 19 where Elijah, who is feeling completely and utterly alone, to the point where he even just wants to die, is brought to a mountainside, and God shows up. He shows up in a storm, He shows up in a fire, He shows up in the wind. And yet after it all, Elijah hears a whisper. You know, the weird thing that struck me about that story is that Elijah had seen God and had been used by God to do incredible things. And yet, in the darkest of times, he feels completely alone and just wants to die. And yet God brings him to the mountainside and shows Himself in these tremendous and glorious ways, and yet reveals Himself closest in a whisper, in the stillness. And what I've learned through the journey that God has brought me on is that He has allowed difficulty and hardship into my life and into the life of my family. Not to punish us, not to hurt us, but to draw us closer. As an invitation into deeper intimacy with Himself, He brings pain to tune our ear to listen to His whisper, to know how close He is. So that's what this song is about. This song is about that paradox of God, how great He is, how ferocious He is, and yet how tender and kind and close He is. So this song is called Whisper. I need You now, like the pasture needs the rain. I've walked through this drought, and my heart is so afraid. I know somehow Your purpose still remains. I'm lost yet I'm found. At my end is where I'm safe. But what heart could hold Your glory, or search all that You are? Still You open up the way to know Your heart. You're an all-consuming fire, who's dangerous yet safe, ferocious and tender. The God of the storm is known in a whisper. And You own the skies. You tame the winds and waves, enthroned in the heights. Yet my heart is where You reign, so open my eyes to see Your ways are not my ways. Oh, lead me to find You refine me in the pain. But what heart could hold Your glory, or search all that You are? Still You open up the way to know Your heart. You're an all-consuming fire, who's dangerous yet safe, ferocious and tender. The God of the storm is known in a whisper. I've walked upon your promise, I've stood within the flame. I sought you in the fury, in the stillness I found grace. You're the whisper in the chaos, our song within the night. I know even in the battle, you're with me in the fight. You could have come in power and made the nations bow, but you traded heaven's glory to wear the sinner's crown. If you're known within the valley, then bring me to the depths. I want nothing but to know you. You've been with me every step. But what heart could hold your glory, or search all that you are? Still you open up the way to know your heart. You're an all-consuming fire, whose danger is yet safe, ferocious and tender. The God of the storm is known in a whisper.